Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
2-5 at WinStar, 500 cap game, 500 effective.
Okay.
Hero is on the button with the ace of diamonds and the queen of clubs.
Ace of diamonds, queen of clubs on the button?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're seven-handed, folds to the cutoff, who seems like an avid recreational player. Not crazy or anything, but definitely, is pretty wide, plays a lot of hands.
Yeah.
He opens the cutoff to 20, which is pretty standard in the games.
Okay.
And we 3-bet to 60. Folds back to him and he calls. So,
well, I can see
standard.
this. I can see, yeah, I mean, it's obviously pretty standard, but I certainly can see this being very awkward stacked. I mean, at least it's only a 4x open, but as I once again will say, I don't envy you guys that playing 100 big blind games. This is like most LA 500 cap games where, the open is to like 5x, and then you 3-bet 3x, and now all of a sudden you've got, $120 to $150 in the pot with only 390 left, basically, like, 2 to 2.5 pot size bets left in a 3-bet pot going to the flop, but.
Yeah, definitely it affects strategy somewhat.
Yeah.
Especially with like sizing pre-flop.
Sure.
So the flop comes king of diamonds, queen of spades, jack of diamonds.
Okay. And you have ace of diamonds, queen of clubs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And hero elects to check it back.
So it goes check, check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The turn is a blank. It's a 4 of spades, and the villain leads into us for 75.
75 into like 120, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, assuming you call, right?
Yeah, I think we have, a pretty clear-cut call. I think the check back on the flop is, maybe debatable, but I just think it's really tough for us to get value from worse at a 3-bet pot. I think we're almost turning our decent showdown hand into a bluff, way too early.
Yeah, I think your hand's a little bit
narrowing.
I think your hand definitely is a little bit in between. You've got the ace of diamonds, which means he can't have the nut flush draw. You're behind to a king. So, what hand is he going to have? Maybe he would call with like Jack 10 suited or something like that, pocket 10s. But you're not going to get multiple streets from those hands anyway. So, looks like the pot is about 270, and you've got about maybe 135. What, like
350?
350 left? Okay.
Yeah. So the river's the 7 of diamonds. So the front door flush gets there that we obviously have the nut blocker to.
Yeah.
And our villain leads for our bets 100. And my question is this a good spot to turn marginal showdown value and our, pretty key blocker, our nut flush blocker and a nut straight blocker, and also, a decent set blocker, I guess, because he may just call queens against the 3-bet, seeing that he's not like a good player, sort of maybe like a more recreational player that's not really going to be 4-betting queens very often, even though it is cut off.
Right, and I know what your question is. This actually reminds me of there's somebody that called in with a hand. We must have put it up on YouTube, maybe a few months ago, where a guy had like the stiff nut flush card, but he had decent showdown value. I think he had like ace king. I forget what the run out was, and he decided to turn his hand into a bluff on the river and jam like what is ace king, which was top pair. And I was like, I don't like that idea, one bit. From your characterization here, I don't really like a jam here. He only has 270 left right after he bets 100, and this board is sort of scary enough where I don't really think that he's even betting. If he even has ace king, you block obviously that. I don't think he's betting it all that much. I mean, maybe. I just don't. The way that this board is run out, he's probably going to have two pair bluffs if he has a value hand, I feel like. And I don't think he's going to fold. I mean, I just don't think you have the stack depth. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he bets 100 into, we said it was like, what, 270, something like that. So it's 370 if you call 470. I mean, he would be getting, what, like 750, 250 to call. I just think it's a little bit too fancy at this level with the stack depth to do that. And if the player's not good and he does bet 100, I mean, obviously he doesn't look very nutted, right? But that doesn't mean that he's going to fold. I would probably just fold here, to be honest with you. I think that folding is probably the best play, unless you think that like there's a possibility that he could be blocking with like Queen 10 or something like that. It's certainly not a bluff, I don't feel like, from him. That's one thing that I would say that a lot of bad recreational players stay fairly consistent with, from what I've seen, is that if they want to bluff you off the hand, they're not going to choose this sizing for it. So this seems very blocky slash value-y, and I don't think he's blocking a queen here. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do what you're thinking about doing here.
I'm just curious. Do you think call is the worst option?
Um. So, well, I was just saying that. I mean, take a look at the price here: 120, 270. So it's 370, 100 to call. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
370, 100 to
Yeah.
call. You're getting 3.7 to 1. I guess it. I guess maybe not. I guess with this price, you could kind of throw in the chip, but I think that probably racing all in is actually the worst option now that I think of it. You are getting quite a price, but I don't expect you to have the best hand here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I want to call it in is because I really felt like it was a unique spot where, and I mean, it can be villain dependent, right? If you want to take like an exploitative approach, which I'm trying to get more away from and listen to more of the content on the website and learn, some of the solver work that you guys are doing, and be like a little bit more theoretically balanced, even though I do play like live low stakes and
Right.
and I get all that. But yeah, this is one of those unique spots where you get to the river and like really like all three options are on the table. Maybe not so much jamming unless, maybe I had like another 40, 50 blinds behind or more.
The other thing too is that you got to think about it from sort of a bad player's perspective. Like they think that you're going to probably be betting a lot of flush draws, even though it's quite interesting. I don't know why I just flipped that away. For some reason, like if you had like raised like 3-bet him with like ace 5 of diamonds, you know what I mean, or something like that, the play would probably be to check back the flop. Like you can delayed c-bet that all day long, right? So on like a king queen jack board, like you shouldn't be going balls to the wall with a c-bet there just because you flop the nut flush draw. So what I'm saying is that you could arrive on the river with some flushes, and maybe the same thing if you ever threw in like a suited connector. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be a perfect spot to check back a flush draw on this board. So you certainly can have flushes, but from a bad player's perspective, they're going to think about the way that the hand would play out, like how they would play it. And if they had a diamond draw, they're always going to bet the flop, right, in position. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden when you
Especially
show
after
up
you
and
bet
now all of a sudden when you show up and shove the river, they're going to be like, he didn't bet the flop. He doesn't have a flush draw. I'm going to call with queen jack or queen 7 of spade, queen 7 of clubs. You know what I mean? So that's why
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of jamming the river. So what ended up happening?
Well, we did rip the 300 or 275
Oh, okay.
in, and the villain snap folded, but I have a couple friends that I like to talk hands with, and I sent this over to them, and I got a lot of mixed results. I got a fold. Well, maybe you can call, but I don't mind jamming, with the key card, the straight blocker, the nut flush blocker. So, yeah, I was just curious on your take because
I just don't know.
obviously
I
like
don't
the
know if you're.
results, but
Let me. I mean, it sounded to me like you said he it is an interesting hand, so he snap folded. But do you think that he ever folds a hand that he's betting on the river that is better than your hand? And if that's the case, like what hand is that? I guess is my question. Like it seems to me like you were good
I think
anyways.
I get a very thin part of his range to like bet fold for value.
Like what though?
Like maybe ace king, maybe king jack, maybe queen jack. But obviously some of the two pair combos we block
I don't think so.
with the
Like
queen
that, I
in
mean,
our
that's what I
hand.
was saying. Like I think it's sort of, and now that I look at it, because of the sizing, the price that you're getting, maybe I would call just because you check back flop and call turn, but I don't think any of those hands are folding. And I don't know how often he's just calling ace king pre-flop. And I thought that if the bet on the river was if I thought the bet on the river was a value bet and it was going to be like king 10, someone says queen 10, we beat queen 10 with ace queen. Um, if I thought the bet on the river was always going to be like ace king plus, or we have the best hand, then calling is probably best because I don't think that we're going to get ace king plus off the
Yeah,
hand.
one of the points a friend made to me is your bluff gets all the hands to fold that you already beat.
Right, that's what I'm saying. This is exactly the same thing.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
your range of hands that you're getting him to bet fold that are better than yours is like super thin, and he's probably always going to call with his sets. Obviously, his worst flushes, I don't think he's ever folding like 10-9 of diamonds
no, definitely
or
not. So, yeah, I just think your
queen
hand's a little
X
bit
of
too
diamonds.
a little bit too in between. But thanks for the call. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out CrushLivePoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.